Okay, so here's today's project. We're going to try the 034 Motorsport billet aluminum dog bone mount insert for the early 2008 and a half R32 Golf, Jetta, GTI, GLI, and a couple Audis, the TT, A3. I already have it opened. And you just remove the bolt, put this in, put the bolt back in, torque it down. I think I've tried this before and I couldn't get it loose, so I have a breaker bar now. Hopefully we can do it. I contacted customer support and they said to use a breaker bar, not a impact gun. I was just looking at it here. You can almost see where it was machined, like in there. The little swirl marks from the machining, the tooling. There you go. It's very lightweight. And it's supposed to reduce engine movement, or you can read it right off here if you want to. Designed to fill large voids in the factory dog bone mount and limit transmission and engine movement without sacrificing ride quality or introducing any additional noise, vibration, or harshness into the cabin. And it says experience crisper shifts and more direct connected driving experience. Installation time 30 to 45 minutes. So here you can see where it goes on the car. This bolt here, even though it shows I'm using an air wrench, in the picture. And it says 21mm socket. I have 21 12 points, but I have a 13/16 6-point socket that works, pretty much better. So we'll try that and torque it down to 100. And what I am going to do is set up a GoPro and film the car starting up right now without this insert. And you'll be able to see the engine movement, when it shakes a little bit and starts up. And then we'll do the same thing again afterwards with the insert and see if there's as much engine movement. And we'll do it with the GoPro and probably shoot 60 frames per second, I think that does. So we don't have any jack stands on the car now. I'll set the GoPro up. We'll start it up quick and then we'll get to it. So like I said, in my situation, I don't have a 21mm 6-point, so I'm using a 13/16, and I only have that in a deep socket. And so if I put that on the breaker bar, which is already got this angle piece on it, and I have to use a little an extension on there, which is another inch to make it fit, because it's not the same drive. So I'm going to try with the ratchet first, and maybe that pipe, because then you don't have so much of an angle. Either way, I'm using the deep socket, but the deep socket on there, it's now you're really far from the bolt. So I want to try to stay as close as I can. I wish I had a shorter socket, but we'll give it a go. See, it just won't. Maybe I'm too far from it, and this bar is I'll try with the breaker bar. So like I was saying, now I have all this on there. It's just as far away as the other setup, but I don't know what just happened there. Maybe I broke the bolt or... I don't know what's going on. Did the ratchet explode? Oh. I think I split the socket. Can you see that? Every time I pull on it, where it split right there on that socket. So I just exploded the 13/16. And it was Craftsman too, not even like a cheap brand. You know, that's why I don't want to try it with this 21 12-point, because if it's just snapping 6-point Craftsman, you know, this isn't a deep socket, but still, like, I don't know, we'll see if there's any gain with this. Maybe a little bit of spray. So we snapped one socket, and then I ended up, you know, using a combination of that ratchet with the short socket and the bar. And I either snapped the bolt or it's coming out, but I went and got the torque wrench, so hopefully we can torque it down to the proper specs in a minute. Nm, so we're going to convert it to foot-pounds, which is 73. So I'm going to get rid of that bar. It feels like I might be able to get it by hand. And this is the 12-point socket, which I didn't want to use, but I guess there's a washer in there. It's coming out now, boys. Last time I tried this was during an oil change, and I think I just couldn't get it loose just like that. It was just too tight, wasn't working. And I was scared to break stuff. But sometimes you just gotta go for it. Should just be as simple as removing this bolt, and then I'm gonna have to go grab that battery that's on the charger to film putting it back in. There we go, bolt's out. Now we just have to put this insert with the 03 Motorsports towards the front of the car, like so. And we'll, you know, push that in, put the bolt in. I changed the battery and lost the tripod in the house. I'll be back. You don't even have to take the tripod off of this camera to take the battery out. I don't know what I was thinking. As you can see, only the highest safety standards. One jack and then a bottle jack, just sort of not touching, but there. Over here we have another jack and then the VW jack on the other side of that. It's not really doing anything, but it's just there in case the two floor jacks fail. This is what it is. Do what you gotta do. Stick her on. Alright, we're definitely going back in. I couldn't tell what grade this bolt was. It says 8.8 on it, so I was worried about breaking it. So now we'll switch over to the torque wrench, which I have set at, I picked up a 4-pack of these adapters at AutoZone at Duralast. Supposedly they're guaranteed for life like Craftsman is. You know, I'll have to see, maybe I can get that Craftsman replaced, just bring it in. But you can go from pretty much any size to any size with this 4-pack, and it was like 15 bucks. So now I'll be able to put this into here, and then onto the torque wrench. That's the clicking you want from the torque wrench, that instant click, so you know it's right at the where you got it set. So now, I think we're pretty much good. But here's your Dogbone from the engine to the transmission. And this is going to limit the movement in that. And hopefully not destroy and damage other parts. So, there's no drips from the Fumoto drain valve that we installed last week. I'll link that video down below. So you don't have to worry about stripping your oil pan threads. If you need something stripped, I can do it. And change your oil filter. And then all we have to do left is change the tires back over and we'll be ready for the Wookiees in the Woods fall run. Put on the brand new tires that we have on the Detroits. So you can probably do this without doing the belly pan. I just had it off from the Fumoto oil change. But it does make it easier to see what you're doing when you take the belly pan off. So that's it. Got it back together. We'll take it off the jacks now. Then all we have to do is wash it and change the tires. So I have the 034 Motorsport Dogbone insert installed, and it feels like the throttle's more connected, like tighter almost, even though it's not a throttle cable per se, like an actual cable. The pedal just feels tighter and like less movement in the engine, I guess, but and it feels like it took a lot of the jerkiness away when shifting. And there used to be this little point where you'd rev it, well, not rev it, but you would be on the gas a little bit and it would rev up a little bit and almost hesitate and then go. And like, that's gone, just that little insert. I'm in sport mode right now because the downshifts in sport mode used to be really brutal and jerky, so I wanted to see how they are now. A little smoother, I mean, not as noticeable. Definitely less jerky with the downshifts. Expect to feel a difference with that type of modification. I thought it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, just add it, because of course it's got to be good. But I actually feel a difference. Congratulations, very happy with that. I destroyed one socket getting there, but in the end everything worked out. It's back together. Not a bad modification, pretty quick, simple, relatively cheap, I think it was. And that's it for this video, so check back and we'll have some more R32 projects coming out.